My name is Corey Minter, and I'm president of Trinity Employment Specialists. I want to talk to you today about onboarding new employees. It's kind of crazy, but roughly about 25% of all people that are that are employed right now are going to have some kind of career transition just this year. And roughly about half of all hourly employees, they're going to change jobs in the next 4 months. That's really expensive. And it's even more expensive because roughly about 20% of all upper level positions are going to see some kind of turnover as well every 18 months. And so I want to try to talk to you about this topic and go over 3 things that I think can really help any company improve their onboarding process. The first thing that I want to talk to you about was I actually learned from Lee Cockerell, who's the vice president of Walt Disney World, and he was over their operations. And I had the opportunity to go to dinner with him one evening, and I got to ask him some really good questions about how I could improve my business. And this was one of the main things he told me. He's like, when you are bringing employees on and maintaining your employees, you need to make sure and be very clear and concise about what it is that you need them to do. And he clarified this a little bit. Let me give you an example. Most people, if you're gonna like onboard a salesperson, most employees, entrepreneurs, they're gonna try to share their vision with them, and they're going to give them some information kind of like this. We want you to make some phone calls and get some sales for these type of people. And what I realized when Lee shared that with me is that that is not enough, because that's what I was doing, and I was really just not producing the kind of results that I wanted. And this is what he suggested to me. Have some metrics that follow that up. It makes it impossible to manage what you're doing if you don't show some metrics that can measure your success. So rather than saying, hey, we want you to make some phone calls to this group of people and try to get some sales, rather, we want you to make this many phone calls. We have a script. We want you to say this. If they object in any way, we want you to say this. This is how we want you to close. That way there's no confusion amongst any of your employees as to what it is that they are supposed to do. Most employees are just utterly confused. They think that they understand the vision of what the entrepreneur or what the business owner or what the leader wants, but they don't, because it's not been clearly communicated. When you use metrics, it's easy to manage. It helps you be very clear with your employees. The second thing that I learned from Lee is to make checklists. But also, I have a really good friend that is he owns a franchise or manages a franchise for Chick-fil-A. And one of the things that I realized in this is that all of the top, most productive companies around use checklists for everything. So why would you use a checklist? The main reason you're wanting to use checklists is it keeps people accountable, not just in the short run of onboarding them, but it also keeps them accountable to performing the job consistently. If you ever walk into Chick-fil-A or Walt Disney World, you'll notice they are consistent with everything that they do. And that's because someone is performing a checklist literally every day, and it doesn't matter if they've been there for 1 month or 20 years. They're still doing the same checklist, making sure that they're maintaining the quality of what it is that the company wants. The best companies do this. And I think a lot of small business owners might think, well, that's for large companies. Man, it is really not. I own a small business, and I can tell you it has drastically improved our onboarding process, and it's also improved our quality after we've onboarded to remain consistent, and so it lets us deliver the same kind of service to all of our customers every time, regardless of who's there, regardless of what kind of employee you have at the moment. So I really think that will help you as well. The last thing is never stop training. Ever, ever, ever. Most companies, especially small companies, train the employee to get up to speed, to perform at a moderate or an acceptable level, and training stops there and they just let them go on. Well, I'll tell you that ongoing training retains employees like you would never believe, and it's because people want to get better. They just do. They want to be in an arena or with an atmosphere where they feel like they are getting better every day. And if you don't provide this for them and they see an opportunity where they could get it, they might take that opportunity. Companies that retain employees the most provide exceptional training and ongoing training, whether they've been there for 1 month or 20 years. The person is still improving. They feel like they have a sense of value. They feel like they're improving, and it makes them feel a sense of accomplishment, and therefore they stay. So make sure you never stop training.